What if I told you that some of heavy metal's loudest legends didn't go out in a blaze of glory, but in ways that still leave fans stunned? These were the rebels who shook arenas, smashed limits, and lived fast in front of millions. On stage, they looked untouchable. Off stage, their lives were far more fragile than anyone imagined. Some deaths came in sudden accidents. Others followed dark battles nobody saw coming. Today, you're about to hear the truth behind 20 of the most shocking heavy metal stars' deaths and why their final moments still haunt the music world. 20. Trevor Strnad. Trevor Strnad's death hit the heavy metal world like a punch to the chest. As the frontman of the Black Dahlia murder, Trevor wasn't just another vocalist. He was the face, the energy, and the unfiltered soul of one of the most respected extreme metal bands of the modern era. His voice carried rage, pain, and dark poetry. But offstage, he was known as a warm, supportive figure who constantly uplifted younger bands and underground artists. By the time his death was confirmed in the year 2022, fans were stunned. There were no public warnings, no dramatic headlines leading up to it. The news arrived quietly, then spread fast, leaving the metal community in disbelief. The band later confirmed that Trevor died by suicide, a revelation that made the shock even deeper. His passing forced fans to confront a hard truth. Even the loudest voices and strongest stage presences can hide deep internal battles. Trevor had spent nearly 2 decades pushing death metal forward, helping it reach wider audiences without watering it down. His lyrics explored darkness, but his real-life influence was often positive and encouraging. Losing him wasn't just the loss of a singer, it was the loss of a guiding force in modern heavy metal culture. Before we move on, take a second to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next shocking story. 19. Nick Menza. Nick Menza's death was one of the most shocking moments in live heavy metal history. Best known as the drummer for Megadeth during their most influential years, Nick helped shape the technical, aggressive sound that defined thrash metal in the 1990s. His drumming powered legendary albums and made him a fan favorite for his speed, precision, and intensity. In the year 2016, Nick was performing with his band Ohm at a small venue in California. Midway through the set, while playing drums on stage, he suddenly collapsed in front of the audience. At first, some people thought it was part of the performance. Within moments, panic set in. Paramedics rushed in, but Nick was pronounced dead shortly after. The cause was confirmed as a heart attack. What made his death especially shocking was how sudden it was. There were no public signs of serious illness. One moment he was doing what he loved, the next he was gone. Fans around the world watched shaky phone videos of the incident, turning a live performance into a tragic final moment. Nick Menza died exactly where he felt most alive, leaving behind a legacy forever tied to the stage. 18. Taylor Hawkins. Taylor Hawkins' death stunned the entire music world. As the drummer for Foo Fighters, Taylor crossed the line between hard rock and heavy metal, earning deep respect from metal fans for his power, speed, and classic rock attitude. He wasn't just a drummer, he was the heartbeat of the band and a larger-than-life personality on and off stage. In the year 2022, Taylor was found unresponsive in a hotel room in Bogota, Colombia, just hours before a scheduled performance. News of his death spread rapidly, sending shockwaves across the globe. Toxicology reports later revealed multiple substances in his system, and his death was ruled drug-related. The suddenness of it all left fans devastated. Taylor had openly spoken in the past about his struggles with substance abuse, but in recent years, many believed those darkest days were behind him. He looked healthy, energetic, and excited to tour again. That contrast made his death even harder to process. Tributes poured in from metal legends, rock icons, and fans alike. Losing Taylor wasn't just losing a drummer. It was losing joy, humor, and pure passion for music. 17. Wayne Static. Wayne Static stood out instantly. With his towering hair, aggressive vocals, and mechanical sound, he became the unmistakable face of Static X. His band helped define industrial metal for a new generation, blending heavy riffs with electronic elements that felt futuristic and dangerous. In the year 2014, Wayne was found dead in his home at the age of 48. The news shocked fans who had grown up blasting Wisconsin Death Trip at full volume. At first, details were unclear, which led to widespread speculation. Later, it was confirmed that Wayne died from a drug overdose involving prescription medications and alcohol. What made his death especially tragic was that many believed he had turned a corner. He had spoken publicly about getting clean and focusing on his solo career. For fans, Wayne represented resilience and rebellion, someone who survived the chaos of the metal lifestyle. His sudden death shattered that image and exposed how fragile recovery can be. Wayne Static's influence still echoes through industrial and nu metal scenes. His look, sound, and energy remain instantly recognizable, frozen in time by a life that ended far too soon. 16. Alexi Laiho. Alexi Laiho was a metal prodigy. As the frontman, lead guitarist, and primary songwriter for Children of Bodom, he pushed melodic death metal into the mainstream while keeping its aggression intact. His lightning-fast solos and wild stage presence made him a hero to young guitar players around the world. Alexi passed away in the year 2020 at the age of 41. The news was shocking, but sadly not entirely unexpected. His cause of death was complications related to long-term liver disease, worsened by years of heavy alcohol use. After his passing, his bandmates revealed the severe physical condition he had been living with near the end of his life. What made Alexi's death so painful was how clearly his talent burned brighter than his health could handle. Even as his body weakened, his passion for music never faded. He continued writing, performing, and inspiring fans despite obvious struggles. Alexi Laiho's death became a brutal reminder of the toll the heavy metal lifestyle can take. His music lives on, fast, emotional, and fearless, even though his body gave out far too early. 15. Joey Jordison. Joey Jordison was the backbone of Slipknot. As a founding member and original drummer, he helped create the band's chaotic, aggressive sound that reshaped modern metal. His speed, precision, and endurance behind the drum kit were legendary. Joey didn't just play fast. He played with control, violence, and emotion that matched Slipknot's raw energy. Joey passed away in the year 2021 at the age of 46. His family confirmed his death, but chose not to reveal the exact medical cause. Later reports made it clear that Joey had been dealing with serious health issues for years, including a neurological condition that affected his ability to play drums. Many fans never realized how much pain he was enduring while still performing. His death shocked the metal world because Joey had slowly disappeared from the spotlight, creating a quiet absence rather than a dramatic downfall. When the news broke, tributes poured in from metal musicians across generations. Joey Jordison wasn't just a drummer. He was a symbol of intensity, discipline, and creative fire that helped define an entire era of heavy metal. 14. Chris Cornell. Chris Cornell's death sent shockwaves far beyond heavy metal. As the frontman of Soundgarden, he helped bring heavy, dark, and emotionally charged music into the mainstream. His voice was unmatched, capable of soaring highs and deep, painful lows, making him one of the most respected vocalists in heavy music history. In the year 2017, Chris was found dead in his hotel room after a performance in Detroit. His death was ruled a suicide, leaving fans stunned and heartbroken. Just hours earlier, he had taken the stage, delivering a powerful show with no obvious signs of distress. That sudden contrast made the loss even harder to understand. Chris had spoken openly about depression and mental health struggles in the past, but many believed he had found balance later in life. His passing exposed how unpredictable and silent those inner battles can be. Tributes flooded in from metal, rock, and alternative artists worldwide. Chris Cornell left behind music filled with pain, beauty, and honesty, making his sudden death one of the most shocking losses heavy music has ever faced. 13. Paul Gray. Paul Gray was more than the bassist of Slipknot. He was a founding member, a songwriter, and a stabilizing force behind the band's chaos. His bass lines helped shape Slipknot's dark, heavy sound, while his behind-the-scenes role kept the band moving forward during their rise. In the year 2010, Paul was found dead in a hotel room in Iowa. The cause of death was later confirmed as an accidental drug overdose involving morphine and other substances. The news devastated fans and bandmates alike. Slipknot had built their image around anger and aggression, but Paul's death revealed deep vulnerability beneath the masks. What made his passing especially shocking was how close the band was at the time. Slipknot publicly mourned him, holding emotional tributes during live shows. Paul's death marked the first major loss within the band and permanently changed its direction. His absence was felt not only musically, but emotionally. Paul Gray's death became a turning point that exposed the real cost of excess in heavy metal life. 12. Vinnie Paul. Vinnie Paul was the heartbeat of Pantera. Alongside his brother Dimebag Darrell, he helped shape one of the heaviest and most influential metal bands of all time. Vinnie's drumming wasn't just powerful. It was groovy, controlled, and instantly recognizable, setting Pantera apart from every other metal band of their era. Vinnie passed away in the year 2018 at the age of 54. His death was caused by heart disease, including an enlarged heart and severe coronary issues. Fans were shocked, especially since he had remained active, energetic, and passionate about music until the end. What made Vinnie's death hit even harder was his history of loss. After witnessing the onstage murder of his brother years earlier, many felt Vinnie had already endured more pain than most could handle. His passing felt like the final chapter of Pantera's tragic story. Vinnie Paul left behind a legacy of rhythm, brotherhood, and unmatched influence. His drumming continues to inspire metal musicians worldwide, long after his sudden and quiet departure. 11. Jeff Hanneman. Jeff Hanneman was the dark engine behind Slayer. As a founding guitarist and primary songwriter, he helped create some of the most aggressive and controversial music heavy metal had ever seen. His riffs were sharp, violent, and unforgettable, shaping albums that defined thrash metal's most extreme edge. Jeff passed away in the year 2013 at the age of 49. His death was caused by liver failure, a condition worsened by years of heavy drinking. In the years leading up to his death, Jeff had already stepped away from touring after suffering from necrotizing fasciitis, a rare and devastating infection caused by a spider bite. The illness weakened his body and slowly pulled him out of the spotlight. Fans were shocked because Jeff had always been a quiet presence, rarely giving interviews or seeking attention. His absence from the stage felt strange, but his death made it permanent. Slayer continued, but something essential was gone. Jeff Hanneman wasn't just a guitarist, he was the architect of Slayer's sound. His death marked the end of an era where raw aggression ruled without compromise. 10. Peter Steele. Peter Steele was impossible to miss. Standing tall with a deep, haunting voice, he became the unmistakable face of Type O negative. His music blended doom metal, gothic atmosphere, and dark humor, creating a sound that felt both massive and deeply personal. Peter died in the year 2010 at the age of 48. His cause of death was heart failure, following years of health problems linked to substance abuse. Early reports confused fans, with rumors spreading rapidly, making the loss even more chaotic and painful. What made Peter's death especially shocking was his recent comeback. He had spoken openly about getting clean and rebuilding his life. Many believed he had survived his darkest years. His sudden passing crushed that hope. Behind the sarcastic lyrics and towering presence was a deeply emotional person who struggled quietly. Peter Steele left behind music that explored love, loss, and self-destruction with brutal honesty. His death ended one of metal's most unique voices, leaving fans with albums that still feel heavy, intimate, and painfully real. 9. Ronnie James Dio. Ronnie James Dio was heavy metal royalty. From Black Sabbath to Rainbow to his own band Dio, his voice defined fantasy-driven, powerful metal for decades. He wasn't just a singer, he was a storyteller who made metal feel heroic and eternal. Ronnie passed away in the year 2010 at the age of 67 after battling stomach cancer. Unlike sudden tragedies, his illness was public, and fans followed his fight closely. When the news of his death arrived, it still felt unreal. A voice that strong felt impossible to silence. Ronnie remained active until his health declined, refusing to fade quietly. Tributes poured in from every corner of the metal world, honoring a man whose influence crossed generations. His death wasn't shocking because it was unexpected. It was shocking because heavy metal felt permanent with him in it. Ronnie James Dio left behind more than songs. He left behind symbols, sounds, and a spirit that continues to shape metal culture long after his final breath. 8. Bon Scott. Bon Scott was the raw soul of AC/DC. His raspy voice, reckless energy, and streetwise lyrics helped turn the band into a global force. Bon didn't just sing about excess, he lived it, unapologetically and loudly. In the year 1980, Bon was found dead after a night of heavy drinking. His death was officially ruled as alcohol poisoning. He was only 33 years old. The shock was massive. AC/DC had just released Highway to Hell, and the band was on the edge of worldwide domination. Many believed Bon Scott was irreplaceable. His death felt like the end of the band. Instead, it became one of the darkest turning points in rock and metal history. Bon's voice and attitude were frozen in time, forever tied to the danger and freedom of early hard rock. Bon Scott's death became a warning and a legend all at once. His music still blasts loud, reckless, and alive, long after the night that took him away. 7. Lemmy Kilmister. Lemmy Kilmister was heavy metal itself. As the founder, bassist, and vocalist of Motorhead, Lemmy lived louder, faster, and harder than almost anyone in rock history. His gravel-soaked voice and aggressive bass tone blurred the line between punk and metal, creating a sound that felt dangerous and unstoppable. Lemmy passed away in the year 2015 at the age of 70. Just days earlier, he had been diagnosed with an aggressive form of cancer. The speed of his decline shocked fans worldwide. One moment he was joking in interviews. The next, the metal world was mourning him. Even near the end, Lemmy refused to retreat from life, staying sharp, honest, and defiant. What made his death so powerful was how eternal he felt. Lemmy never acted like a man who could die. He represented survival through excess, a walking contradiction who somehow outlived the lifestyle he celebrated. When he finally fell, it felt like heavy metal lost its living symbol. Lemmy's death marked the end of an era. His influence remains carved into the foundation of metal, loud, raw, and unapologetic. 6. Dead Per Yngve. Olin, known as Dead, was the vocalist of Mayhem and one of the most haunting figures in black metal. His stage presence was terrifying, often involving self-harm and corpse-like makeup that blurred performance and reality. The Dead didn't pretend darkness. He lived inside it. In the year 1991, Dead died by suicide at the age of 22. His death became one of the most disturbing moments in extreme metal history. The details were grim, and the aftermath became even more controversial, turning tragedy into mythology within the black metal scene. Dead had long struggled with severe depression and an obsession with death. Many close to him later admitted the signs were always there. Still, the shock of his passing sent ripples through underground metal that are still felt today. His death pushed black metal deeper into infamy and darkness. The Dead's short life left a massive shadow. He became a symbol of how blurred the line can become between art, identity, and self-destruction in extreme music culture. 5. Euronymous Oystein Arseth, known as Euronymous, was the guitarist and founder of Mayhem. He wasn't just a musician. He was a central figure in shaping Norwegian black metal's image, ideology, and chaos. His influence extended beyond music into a dangerous culture of extremism. In the year 1993, Euronymous was murdered at the age of 25. He was stabbed to death by fellow musician Varg Vikernes, a crime that shocked not only the metal world, but also the international media. The murder exposed the violent reality behind black metal's darkest era. What made Euronymous' death so shocking was how real everything became. This wasn't imagery or lyrics anymore. It was real blood, real loss, and real consequences. The underground scene was forever altered overnight. Euronymous died young, controversial, and feared. His murder became a defining moment that turned black metal from an underground movement into a global cautionary tale of unchecked extremism. 4. Chuck Schuldiner. Chuck Schuldiner was the mastermind behind Death and widely regarded as the father of death metal. His songwriting pushed the genre from raw brutality into technical, thoughtful, and progressive territory. Chuck proved that extreme metal could be intelligent, emotional, and complex. Chuck passed away in the year 2001 at the age of 34 after battling brain cancer. His illness was long and painful, worsened by financial struggles that delayed proper treatment. Fans around the world rallied to support him, but the disease moved faster. His death shocked the metal community because Chuck represented growth and evolution. He was still experimenting, still pushing boundaries, still creating. Losing him felt like losing the future of death metal itself. Chuck Schuldiner left behind a flawless musical legacy. His work continues to inspire musicians across genres, standing as proof that brilliance can exist even in the heaviest corners of music. 3. Dimebag Darrell. Dimebag Darrell was one of the most beloved guitarists in heavy metal history. As the lead guitarist of Pantera, he helped redefine groove metal with crushing riffs, screaming solos, and a joyful stage presence that made fans feel connected to him instantly. Dimebag wasn't just respected, he was loved. In the year 2004, Dimebag was shot and killed while performing on stage with Damageplan in Columbus, Ohio. The attack happened just seconds into the set in front of a shocked audience. A disturbed gunman rushed the stage and opened fire, killing Dimebag and several others before being stopped by police. The horror of his death shook the music world. Heavy metal had always flirted with danger in its image, but this was real violence in real time. Dimebag died doing what he loved most, guitar in hand, surrounded by fans. His murder permanently changed how live shows were viewed and secured. Dimebag Darrell's death became one of the darkest moments in metal history. His spirit, humor, and unmistakable sound continue to echo through every riff inspired by his work. 2. Cliff Burton. Cliff Burton was the creative heart of Metallica during their early years. His melodic bass playing, classical influences, and fearless experimentation helped push the band beyond simple thrash metal into something deeper and more ambitious. Cliff wasn't just a bassist, he was a visionary. In the year 1986, Cliff was killed in a tour bus accident in Sweden while Metallica was traveling overnight. The bus skidded on an icy road, flipped, and crushed him while he slept. He was only 24 years old. The band was at the peak of its rise, touring behind Master of Puppets. The randomness of the accident made it unbearable. One wrong moment on a dark road ended a life that felt limitless. Cliff's death devastated his bandmates and fans alike. Many believe Metallica was never the same after losing him. Cliff Burton's legacy lives on through his music, his influence, and the sense of unrealized greatness left behind. 1. Randy Rhoads. Randy Rhoads was a once-in-a-generation talent. As Ozzy Osbourne's guitarist, he brought classical technique, speed, and melody into heavy metal, changing the role of the guitar forever. His playing on albums like Blizzard of Oz set new standards overnight. In the year 1982, Randy died in a tragic plane crash while on tour. A small aircraft, flown recklessly, struck the band's tour bus and crashed into a nearby house. Randy was only 25 years old. The accident happened in seconds, leaving no time for escape. His death was shocking because his career had barely begun. Randy was transforming metal right in front of the world. Losing him felt like losing the future of guitar-driven heavy music. Randy Rhoads' influence remains unmatched. His short life produced a legacy so powerful that his name still stands at the top of heavy metal history, frozen forever at the moment of his rise. Their music may never fade, but the way their stories ended still hits hard. Behind every crushing riff and screaming chorus was a real life, real pain, and a final moment that shocked fans around the world. Some deaths changed the sound of metal forever, while others were quietly buried by time. If these stories moved you, don't let them disappear again. Hit subscribe, give this video a like, and turn on notifications so you never miss the untold stories rock history tried to forget. And now tell me, which heavy metal death shocker shocked you the most?